as an experiment to see the effects of alcohol on a person, given a test against people who are not under the influence and that self-same person before he became under the influence. So in different words, certain measurements were first taken with everybody being completely sober. That was the initial test. It has since developed into a series of tests in which a body of knowledge has been built up with respect to the effects of alcohol on the human being. These tests have always been conducted under the auspices of the Pick and Pay Stay Alert, Stay Alive road safety campaign. They've proved very successful, and many of the results have gone worldwide. And in fact, a lot of the results are used as a standard procedure in South Africa with respect to liquor and the ability of a human being, never mind in the driving scene, but in the workplace. And I can give a couple of examples. By way of example, a person's vision is detrimentally affected with respect to depth perception. Now, this is something...
What does that mean?
Okay. What it actually means is that under the influence of alcohol, as opposed to before you were under the influence of alcohol, the person will still see the vehicle approaching in the other direction, but his perception as to how far away the other vehicle is detrimentally affected. Now that means that he can start an overtaking maneuver, believing that he will make it very easily. In fact, where that other vehicle was, coming from the other direction, was not where he actually perceived it to be. In different words, he still sees the vehicle, but where it is not really in the accurate spot where it is.
Now, on the day, you are unveiling a breathalyser app.
Yes.
What are the benefits of this particular app? Because it's going to be on a cell phone or
Correct.
a smartphone for that matter.
On a smartphone, correct. We haven't even seen it yet. It will be arriving in South Africa tomorrow, and it will be unveiled on Tuesday. And I believe it will be one of the first experiments ever done with it, definitely the first in South Africa. There are a few unknowns still even to us. What we do know is that it will, and I'm going to use a South African word, empower a person himself to be able to determine from something in his pocket whether he is in a position to drive both legally and practically. Because certain people at 0.05 are really very drunk. Yet, if they would be stopped by a traffic officer, etc., they would not be taken to court, they would not be arrested, in other words, because legally speaking, they would still be under the legal limit. So this particular instrument is to enable the individual, if he buys one, of course, to be able to himself pull out his cell phone with the app on it, test himself, and then take the necessary precautions. In different words, he is being empowered as opposed to us giving a suggestion that you shouldn't have more than one beer, you shouldn't have more than two. Well, of course, my attitude is always, do not drink and drive, full stop.
Well, that's our technology for you. But turning our attention to truck drivers. So we've seen some horrific truck accidents in this country. Now, share with us some of the advantages of the truck driving simulator that you're going to have on the day as well.
Right. The simulator with respect to a truck driver, as opposed to you and me who are going to drive a normal car. We all want to drive a normal car, so we all will have driving lessons. We might go via a simulator route if there is one available. We might go direct to a driving teacher. The driving teacher might even have a simulator. Very few have. But with respect to a truck driver, we're talking about here a person who intends to become a professional driver. That will be his living. First of all, the simulator will be able to enable the person working the simulator to determine, has this person the aptitude to be a truck driver?
Yes.
Certain people haven't an aptitude for certain things. Therefore, immediately tell the man, please move on to something else in life. This is just something that you will never cope with. Number two, assuming that he passes that part of it and can cope with being a truck driver. The simulator will then help the person with respect to the mechanics of driving, clutch, gear, and other aspects, indicators, lights, etc., that when he goes into the truck afterwards, in other words, after being in the simulator for a certain number of hours, etc., he then starts his practical knowledge in the truck. He can learn the skill of driving and not have to simultaneously learn the mechanics and the skill.
At the same time.
Correct. So in different words, hopefully it would speed up his learning. But number two, the aspects of it that we sometimes see on the road where this truck has got, or even a learner driver in an ordinary car is driving at 8 kilometers an hour and we don't know what to do behind and we don't know which way it's going to go, has been eliminated because of the simulator beforehand.
Now, Lawrence, I can tell you there's a lot more to talk about, but unfortunately we ran out of time. We're going to do some more of this because it's very important what you're doing. That's Project Dad on the...
That's next week on Tuesday at the Wanderers in the clubhouse area, not the stadium area where they play cricket.
Okay, now there's a lot more that we're going to be seeing, because before we go, I just want to check with you. There is also there's other activities that you're also going to plan on the particular day, including a beauty pageant.
Correct.
Briefly tell us about that as well.
Right, the beauty pageant we have every year where we have a Miss Road South Africa chosen under the auspices of Pick and Pay, Stay Alert, Stay Alive. It's being run by Carolyn Baldwin of Pageant South Africa, so it's of the highest professional order. Other South African title holders will be there as well, and by the end of the morning we would have chosen Miss Road Safety South Africa 2012-2013.
And what will be her role?
Her role will be to be the spokesperson in terms of a face for road safety in South Africa. We have one already for this last year, Pabelo. She's been an absolute magnificent ambassador for road safety, a most beautiful girl, and hopefully this year we'll have somebody of equal skill, of equal value, who will be the ambassador for road safety in South Africa.
Now, people that's going to go to on the 5th to the Wanderers, what else can they expect? And is the public, is it open to the public?
Anybody can come, of course. You know, we want people to see what we're doing because nothing is behind closed doors or anything. We'll be doing other experiments like the Drunk Buster goggles, which is a fantastic experiment with respect to it simulates a drunk person without the person actually having to get himself or herself under the influence of alcohol. It's an amazing test. It's at the Wanderers next week, Tuesday morning, Johannesburg. In the morning, it starts at 9 o'clock. It's in the clubhouse area. If you go to the gate, they will direct you exactly to where to go to.
Lawrence Barrit, he's the coordinator of Project Dad. Thank you so much for joining us in studio. And there's a lot more to be seen. That's on the 5th next week, Tuesday. But right now, it's time to